Ms. Hull for recognition.
Thank you. Members, we just passed 2 resolutions recognizing the month of October 2021 and 2022 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. As a society, when we hear the words domestic violence, what we hear is physical abuse. I am here to shed light on domestic violence being so much more than physical abuse. Domestic violence never starts with a punch in the face. But what it does start with is emotional abuse, psychological abuse, religious abuse, and financial abuse. This can look like many things: control, gaslighting, weaponizing your children, turning your support system against you, the abuser playing the victim, and the list keeps going. When physical abuse is present, the other forms of abuse have already taken place. Often, there was no physical abuse prior. Instead, the abuser uses every other form of abuse to the point where the victims find themselves wishing there was physical violence so there would be proof and an end in sight. Even though that is not a healthy outlook, some victims feel it's the only way people will believe them. One of the main questions that is asked on domestic violence hotlines are from victims asking, is this abuse? Is what I'm experiencing abuse? Many people living it don't understand that there is a label to what they are experiencing, and what that is domestic violence. One of the most dangerous times for a victim of domestic violence is when they are in the process of leaving or after they have left. This is when the abuse is the worst. This is the most terrifying time for a victim of domestic violence. This is when their life is in the most danger. When you hear reports of an abuser killing their spouse, rarely was there known physical violence prior. So my takeaway for all of you is just because someone doesn't have a bruise on their face doesn't mean they're not a victim of domestic violence. You can't judge a book by its cover. It could even be someone like me, one of your colleagues, and you'd never know. Given the domestic violence statistics are that it's 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men, I know there are many of us survivors in this room right now. To the victims and to the survivors, I want this to serve as a reminder that you are not the lies your abuser says about you, and nothing you have done makes it to where you deserve the abuse. In those times when you feel like you have no strength left to go on, remember Jesus is by your side and you can find your strength in him. Remember the love Jesus has for you. You are so loved and you can do this. I urge you all to look up something called the Wheel of Violence, and you will see that there are so many other things before you get to sexual abuse and physical abuse. I'll close with this. I want this to serve as a reminder to all of us that none of us know the battles that others are fighting, and to always be kind. Thank you.